Save your feet and toes. Yeah, I say come walk with me. Save your feet and toes.
Power on.
Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come walk with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your toes and feet. Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat.
Great Rod isn't, y'all.
I'm walking, y'all.
Yes.
Trying to save my feet and
Great Rod isn't. Get your mats if you don't already have them. Get your weights. Line up if you walking wall to wall. Great Rod isn't. Yes, indeed. It's so nice to see hints of the sun in the morning. We're coasting. Y'all know this is a 45-minute walk. And in between there, we're going to listen to HR 40. So let's get this party started. A 45-minute walk because we have to make up for time. Well, I do. You may have been, you may have been working out the whole time I wasn't. So, I'm trying to see these cameras. Let's see. Y'all keep walking. Great Rod isn't. I like the raw today. Raw for the day. Yes. Hooray for the day. Ugh. It's so hard to decide to go on your own and break these social norms. But in Europe, there's a culture that mourns not only the day, the minute, the second hour, and sadly, it's all up in our vocabulary or lexicon, as they call it. With me, I want to ride the day. Ride the sun. That orb in the, no, I don't want to say sun. Orb in the sky. Whew. So many words that I use from that book. It's just in the American language. Oh, I posted something on Facebook. If y'all saw it, Rotten Mango, Stephanie Sue, she's Vietnamese, and that lady knows how to tell a story. She knows how to take something that someone would say, oh, it's so boring, I don't want to listen to it, and you put it in her hands, and 2 hours later, you blink, you're like, wow. She took me all the way there. Oh, Sisters Who Kill, which I love. But I gotta tell you something, because I had to ask myself this even when I was in Nevada. I said, Vicky, growing up in the 60s in New York City, every crime that was committed, okay, not every, 99% of the crime that the newspapers reported on was of us doing violent things. I mean, you had the mafia there, but that's to be expected. They're gangs, like they thought so. Them killing stuff to be expected. So it was the mafia and us. And if it was the mafia, they would say this crime family, that crime family. You know? If it was us, black person fleeing, black person caught, the witnesses said black person, all the live long day. So now I try to listen to podcasts. African Americans, the young people, they want to talk more about it, as they should, about crime in the community. But for me, the whole beginning of my life, in this country, in East New York, Brooklyn, all it was how black people was doing everything. We were robbed. 99% of the robberies in New York, they blamed on black people, except bank robbery. They never blamed that on us. They wanted to catch them, so they made sure to put that white person's face out there. But anything else that they didn't have to say was white, or they didn't have to say was the mafia, they said black. Who shot your kids? A black man. I saw a black man running. Didn't care. They found somebody. Who shot your kids? Saw a black person running away. Got him, caught him, killed him. Found out he was innocent. Oh. So listening to it as a podcast is not interesting for me. Now, what I didn't know, I had no idea of, was how violent them mid folks and them West Northerners are. Idaho, Washington, the Dakotas, they having problems. They're going around killing Native American women like it's a natural thing to do. I didn't know about that when I was growing up. On the TV, even in the shows. Yeah, they had those TV shows where, Maddox was trying to catch the bank robbers, blah, 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 blah. But that was TV. We never knew it to really be real. I didn't. And so now finding out, finding out that how one family got mad and went and killed 8 people, knocking out two generations of families because of something that was perceived or thought. But hell, the stock market crashed, twice? And it goes down now on perceived thoughts. If anybody in the Wall Street internet, or any rich person, any famous person said, I had a dream, the stock market crashed. People start running, snatching their money out. So, I guess 2 generations of people can get wiped out for something that was perceived. So, I did all the stuff I was supposed to do for me, which is good. I know a lot of y'all got kids and grandkids, and y'all run up and down with them and do all kinds of stuff, or a lot of you still working on the job. I mean, that's not my life. And I'm glad, because I couldn't take the abuse no more. Whew. Whew. That was touch and go. At least Native Americans got reservations they can stay on. And they are able to keep white people out. But so you're protected behind that in that reservation. And they try everything to keep them out, which is good. But on the other hand, when you like African Americans and you don't got no reservation to run to, so you gotta go out there and deal with them. And oh my gosh, who them Hatfields and McCoys? They never stop. They never stop. Because they're raised that they're better than you. So even when you work with them, they spend all their time proving and showing that they're better than you. And you were like, man, just let's work. Let's just get this done. Oh, I can't. In my younger days, I worked at Fashion Avenue, but I had a boyfriend. I didn't know he was stealing dresses. I just know he used to give me some very pretty dresses. And then the dresses I bought while at the telephone company. So as a temp, I would get receptionist positions. And, you know, being a temp, sometimes they can buy your contract, sometimes they don't. But they ain't buy a lot of our contracts. But working with that temporary agency for a while, they kept saying, just hold on and believe. They do it all the time. They buy the contract all the time for the temps. You know, just hang in there. First of all, and I'm glad I didn't feel too bad about that, but first of all, I should have realized, especially back in that day, with the Twiggies and stuff like that, I wasn't shaped like the men that they had their models look like. I had a small waist, I had hips, I had breasts, and that's not what's looked for in women for models. Thank goodness it's changed now, but then you were made to feel bad if you didn't have a man's shape. Can you believe that? My mother and I used to say, well, we're not supposed to look like men. These folks are still throwing up everything to look like men. To have men's body. Just straight up and down. And that's because it's changed a lot. Not a lot. But it's because men dress women. When I found out I was young, I was like, why are men making bras for women? Do men wear bras? I found out later, yes they do. And that the bras that you think are made for you is not. That's why I don't understand why men are so against gay. It is so in them. It is so in them. So that's why they was built like that, and all so uncomfortable and horrible and painful and disgusting, because it was made by men. If a man wore bras that they made, it didn't do anything for them. I mean, it made them look like they had breasts, but it didn't cut into their shoulder. They didn't have any breasts to put in there. Back then, I'm talking about when I was younger. So, they wanted me, if I looked more like a man, straight up and down, I probably would have had a better chance of staying a receptionist. And of course, Caucasian. So I'm glad I'm not out in that world. I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. It's horrible working, knowing when something goes wrong, the first person they're going to look at. It's like, if something goes wrong on the West Wing, but there's no African American or brown people there to blame, but on the East Wing, there are African American people to blame. So, of course, it's the East Wing that did it. And as they call it, the first time I heard, just go ahead and fudge it a little. I was like, fudge it? You know? And they showed me how, and I was like, oh, that's called lying. Now they call it gaslighting. And I was like, gaslighting? What's gaslighting? And I was like, oh, lying. These Hatfields and McCoys, they know how to come up with words. Instead of coming out and saying what it is. Oh, let me tell y'all, I was listening to my podcast. And there was a story about this family in Australia. And they would say, you know, they were Catholic, a Catholic family. They got married. And this was back in the 80s. And they had 3 kids. And the last kid she had such bad postpartum depression, it rattled her husband. So her husband said, look, he had to send for the family to come and everything and to snap her back, and still she was on medication for it. So he said, you know, we're both Catholic, but here, take these birth control pills. Now, he could have went and got a vasectomy too, but we ain't gonna go there. So, she gets pregnant. He can't handle it. That postpartum depression, I told my daughter all the time, when women get pregnant, men get pregnant too. But they will not acknowledge it. They won't acknowledge it. That's why they have such a hard time. That's why they can become more abusive when the wife, the girlfriend, is pregnant, because they don't realize that things are shifting in them too. And as fragile as these men are being raised today, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, they had 3 kids. He didn't want any more, gave it birth. And, oops, she got pregnant. Like I said, men don't think vasectomy. Though my daughter tells me now, because of these laws for not having abortion, that men are going to get vasectomies because they can be reversed. Because they realize now, they ain't running out here making all these babies so they can have that they can't afford, so they can have their license taken away from them and thrown in jail for non-support. They're not doing it. So the states can go around and say, oh, no abortion, no abortion, no abortion, no abortion. But it's not up to the state. It's the individual. So she's pregnant, and he's doing a lot of crazy stuff. And I can't remember exactly the crazy stuff. And, well, he winds up killing everybody. The wife who's pregnant. Well, he took care of everybody. So that's another thing. When you don't work and stuff, then you become the responsibility of the husband, and the husband looks at you as a possession to do with what he will. So he killed him. And I said to myself, you get married, you say, cleave to your husband, look at your husband, the husband say, accept religion when it comes to having babies. Honey, them pedophile religious people got to have kids to doodle. Diddle and doodle, honey. They are all. I can't think of one pedophile that's against abortion. Please. If they could start right out the womb diddling on kids, they would. See the pedophiles lined up between the laboring mother's legs, just waiting to take the child straight from out the womb. Well, we did 20 minutes, y'all. And then, I'll say who because I did 15 minutes on the bike this morning. Here's the thing. Yeah, let's take a break.
Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they cut me up until I'm just a nose. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. If I stop walking, y'all, the cane gonna trip me up. Yeah, come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come walk with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me. Save your toes and feet. Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. I said I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking, y'all, they cut me up.
Hey now. Thanks for coming back to the walk. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Uh-oh. What we're going to listen to now is HR 40. Fair use. I brought my sign back from Nevada, but just as I was telling you, I don't think I know where it is. My brain said, oh, it's over here, but it's not. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Congress.gov, January 9th, 2023. Issue, Volume 169, Number 7, Daily Edition. Reparation, Congressional Record, Volume 169, Number 7. From the Congressional Record online through the Government Publishing Office. Reparation. Ms. Jackson Lee asked and was given permission to address the House for 1 minute. Ms. Jackson Lee. Mr. Speaker, it has been 38 years, and I rise with
38 years
enthusiasm on reintroducing H.R. 40, the Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposal for African Americans Act. I am pleased to reintroduce this legislation and to acknowledge to my friends and colleagues that it was first introduced in 1989 after the implementation of the American Civil Liberties Act that provided compensation to Japanese Americans. H.R. 40 does not focus on all of that only. It focuses on the study of slavery and the understanding of what would be the next step to end the vast disparities in the African American communities even today in 2023. And so this introduction allows for a study and analysis and action. Ms. Jackson Lee continues. I am pleased with the more than 350 organizations, CEOs, scholars, state and local officials, and members of Congress who have been supportive in understanding the era of slavery in this country. The 13th Amendment may have ended slavery, but the disparities exist. Let us pass H.R. 40, the Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposal for African Americans Act. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to reintroduce H.R. 40, the Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposal for African Americans Act. This legislation was first introduced by retired member of Congress John Conyers of Michigan in 1989 and was intended to examine the institution of slavery in the colonies and the United States from 1619 to the present, and further recommend appropriate remedies. Since the initial introduction of the legislation, its proponents have made substantial progress in evaluating the discussion of reparation and reparatory justice at the national level and joining the mainstream international debate on the issue. Though some have tried to deflect the importance of these conversations by focusing on individual monetary compensation,
Me.
the real issue is whether and how this nation will come to grips with the legacy of slavery that still inflicts current society. Through legislation, resolution, news, and litigation, we are moving closer to making more strides in the movement towards reparation. Today, there are more people at the table, more activists, more scholars, more CEOs, more state and local officials, and more members of Congress. However, despite this progress, the election of the first American president of African descent, the legacy of slavery lingers heavily in this nation. While we have focused on the societal effects of slavery and segregation, its continuing economic implications remain largely ignored by mainstream analysis. These economic issues are the root cause of many critical issues in the African American community today, such as education, healthcare, and criminal justice policy, including policing policies. Call for reparation represents a commitment to entering a constructive dialogue on the role of slavery and racism in shaping present-day conditions in our communities and American society. Over the last several years, we have had a distinguished There it is.
The commission
Oh, I thought something was missing.
would also make
Okay.
recommendations concerning any form of apology and compensation to begin the long delayed process of atonement from slavery. With the over-criminalization and policing of black bodies, a recurring issue in African American communities, I believe this conversation is both relevant and crucial to restoring trust in the governmental institutions in many communities. As in the past years, I welcome open and constructive discussion on H.R. 40 and the creation of this commission in the 118th Congress. Though the times and circumstances may change, the principal problem of slavery continues to weigh heavily on this country. A federal commission can help us reach into this dark past and bring us into a brighter future.
Yes. Okay, that was it. Okay, we're going to have a cleaner copy tomorrow, but I promised that we would have something to listen to on walk. Tizam. So yeah. We're not getting monetary reparations. That is not going to happen. The H.R. 40 Reparation African American Act is just what it says it is. To, like, I think the governor in some place in California, something like that, said they were going to give reparation for, but those Hatfields and McCoys, never. The ancestors would have to literally stomp them out. Because they're still vile. So what this the commission does and has been doing for the past 38 years, it has been saying, America, enslavement happened. They go back to 1619 and they're focusing on the New York slaves that were brought in by the Dutch. But my ancestors' energy tells me something different. The Dutch was just working with the King of England. Again, bringing over his prisoners of war. People been fighting England. Well, the war's kind of won. But anyway, what they do is they go around saying we don't want monetary compensation. We want education. We want better health care, etc., etc. But that's not going to happen. President Obama brought in health care, and the Hatfield and McCoys, even though it was a, listen, the Hatfields and McCoy don't understand. That's the part of enslavement that they're not teaching. These Hatfield and McCoy have a gene inside of them. McCarthy, McCullough, McCullough, they got a gene. And all the Irish, they have a gene inside of them. From the reason why they came to this country anyway, as patty rollers. That's why they're still the patty rollers. Call them judge, patty roller. Judge, patty roller. Lawyer, patty roller. Police, patty roller. Correctional officer, patty roller. Prison system, enslavement. But now it's everybody. everybody. But the newbies, they're not faring so well. What do you mean I can't get a job over a black person? I never had to learn nothing. I look at that murder trial and all those people down there. University of South Carolina. Yeah, it was all a clique. Ladies went there to find husbands, not to get an education. Furthest thing from their mind. Remember, they were still playing pianos, probably to this day, playing piano and doing needlework. And satisfying their husband. That's all they had to do. So I remember when my grandmother said to me, why don't you go to University of South Carolina for nursing? I looked at her like, well, to use her term, because back in the days, everything was TB. You look like you got TB, you walk like you got TB. So I looked at her like she had TB. I was like, I'm getting on the first thing, smoking off this enslavement ship. Whew. Whew. And so, listen to HR 40, 38 years, and Mississippi is implementing Jim Crow laws. Man, I'm so glad I'm not in Mississippi. I'd be riding through there with Molotov cocktail bottles in the backseat of my car, burning down every Jim Crow anything. So in 38 years, you learn nothing. What else do they do? Is that another Mississippi where they're going to decide who the judges are? So I'm thinking about HR 40. They said in the 60s, only blood changes things. Only blood changes things. I can't wait to see these young people running their black asses down there to be in some Army and Navy and Marine Corps fight against Ukraine. In my head, the energy from the ancestors, this is what they play in my head. That poor African American or brown skinned man with a United States uniform on, going there through Ukraine, and he's shot. Who shot him? The American? As they call it, friendly fire? The Ukrainian? Again, supposed to be friendly fire? Or the Russian? And there ain't no friendly fire there. So he is 3 times more likely to be killed messing around in these white people's war. You are their enemy, no matter how mad they are at one another. They can be shooting down one another. You walk into the room, all their guns will be trained on you. It's a gene in their blood. It's a gene. That's what HR 40 needs to address. So, yeah, I want monetary because my mother cried for monetary. My grandfather cried for monetary. They couldn't understand what the hell. What the hell? Listen. I don't know why the ancestors ain't going through here. They, all their energy together from all those hundreds of years. Why can't they just get together and go and stomp out? I don't understand that. So, like here, I was going to surprise my daughter and try to get her, you know, like, how do they mark off the territory for your house and stuff? Surveyor. Well, this surveyor wanted like $1,500. And I said, well, let me call and get see if I can get a cheaper price. So I called surveyors in surrounding territories. Everybody's Caucasian. Vanilla wafer. So I called the town over. And they said, where do you live? And I said, I told them where I live. They said, oh, no. That's so-and-so territory. You got to call him. So I'm like, so-and-so territory? So I called another one. We're talking. He's less. He's like $400 less. And he said, where do you live? I told him where I live. He said, oh, no. That's so-and-so's territory. What is going on? One more I called. Nailed it. $500 cheaper. Said, where do you live? Told him where I live. He said, no, that's so-and-so territory. So then I'm not looking at my numbers, and I call so-and-so back. And he gives me that same price. And he told me he was the only one. So I imagine that there has been African American surveyors that try to get in here, but this is his territory. So he can charge. See, that's what HR 48 takes. So he can charge me $500 more, and nobody will cross over into his territory, though they are cheaper than he is. So, no African American surveyors, because this is his territory. I don't know why the ancestors just don't stomp them out. I mean, if you look back over enslavement time, it had to be no less than 100 million slaves in this colony that had suffered and died. That's a lot of energy. That energy could do a lot of damage to the Hatfields and the McCoys. When I was in Nevada, I saw a little mini coney thing came down in the storm. I saw the sky turn brown and the whole 9 yards, and the host was telling me how you could see it dropping down from the little cones. It looked like a little straw at first, and then it does pick up, and I don't know why That can't be the force of the ancestors. Millions. Millions. And they're still doing it. And your energy, I know. Squeeze a few hearts. Squeeze a few brains. Trip a few down the U.S. Capitol stairs. They told a lie that you was shit in a cake. Oh, pa. What was that book? What was that lioness book? Yeah, I can't think the name of it. My grandma would never do anything like that. She said when she used to work for Caucasians, they always accused her and the other cooks of spitting in their food, touching their food inappropriately, but she used to always say, that's them. That's not us. She was a proud chef. She was a proud cook. She wouldn't be spitting. Now, she may trip you downstairs. Like Maggie did Gloria. But she ain't gonna do nothing to your food. Because cooks don't do stuff to your food. They like their food. They taste their food. So, I remember when I first, my coworker Joe, my good friend now, we haven't worked together a long time, my BF friend, when she told me about that book. And I read it, and right after I was like, bullshit. I go, bullshit. That's definitely from a white woman's perspective, because they've been saying that for a long time. Oh, happy International Rib Month. Let's do 10, neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one for good luck. Happy International Rib Month. Ain't got an independent thought. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one for good luck. Happy International Rib Month. All of y'all who are made of men, all you riblets. Oh, I remember.
Your toes and feet. 'Cause when you walk with me,
I remember what I read, how they gave the vanilla wafers
I'm walking, y'all.
the vote
Trying
before
to
African American women.
toes.
And they were so happy, the vanilla wafers.
I said I'm walking.
They were
y'all.
so happy.
Trying to say
They can vote, and
yes,
black people can't.
toes.
But they didn't have
Once
a
I
vote.
stop walking, y'all.
Their husbands had 2 votes. Oh, that tickled me.
I'm walking, y'all.
No, you never got the vote.
Trying to save my feet
The
and
man, the
toes.
brother, the father,
I said
the
I'm
uncle
walking, y'all.
got
Trying to
2
stay
votes.
ahead of the sugar
I'ma clean up that. I'ma clean up that HR,
train.
40, and we'll listen to it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll try to post it. I'll try to clean it up. But I had to have it here so y'all can listen to it. Yep, and I also posted it on Facebook, and I posted it on my community in YouTube. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Like, comment, share. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming on the walk.
They cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah.